We are back and ready to go, folks. Welcome back to the last workshop for today in this room. Who here has already made a connection here at WordCamp that was probably worth the price of admission? Yes, we are succeeding. Fantastic. Well, I'm excited to get a chance to introduce this next talk because I love this title. I like AI, I'm fascinated by it, I find it very useful, but 9 times out of 10 I find it overhyped, so I love this no hype, just results. Catch bugs faster with AI and Playwright. So who is here and ready to learn something about QA? Woo! Yes! And who is here mostly to support and intimidate a coworker? I see a lot of pink right here in the front. Awesome. Well, I'd like to introduce to you Wendy Erdheim-Polk. I'm told we can call her the Queen of QA. Wendy is a QA professional at Elementor, specializing in both manual testing and automation development. She's passionate about accessibility and creating thoughtful testing strategies to make products more reliable, usable, and inclusive. With a creative and curious approach, Wendy ensures quality across complex digital experiences, always staying one step ahead to catch issues before users do. Please welcome to the stage, Wendy.
So, I'm in a meeting yesterday, and our lead developer is presenting his new feature. Demo goes great. Then I decide to test it, and I find 12 bugs. He looked genuinely shocked, but he said it worked on his machine. I leaned over and whispered, legend says that every time someone says those exact words, an angel loses their Wi-Fi. He stares at me like I have 10 heads. Angels have Wi-Fi? Well, not anymore. Hi guys, I'm Wendy, and I am an automotive engineer at Elementor. I've been working in the industry for about 9.5 years. I say that QA is probably the best job in tech. Why? So we get to push buttons and break things on purpose. So how did I manage to get here today? My welcome to the WordPress world was a little bit different. I just had my second kid, and I was looking for a new career. And I heard amazing things about Stratic and the founder, Miriam Schwab, and guess what? They were all true. So I applied, I got the job, and then I was told to go test WordPress. And it really changed my perspective on how to test, because there are so many endless possibilities. And I'm here today to share with you some of the things that I have learned along the way at Stratic and at Elementor. Okay, so today we're going to talk about Sarah and her AI testing disaster and how she became a testing hero. We're going to also learn about what I like to call the AI tango, when to ask, when to agent, and with structured prompts, help us find bugs faster and more, and have a lot of fun doing it. We're going to also talk about Playwright and other testing tools. You'll see a QR code sometimes. Do not worry, I will show it at the end. It's the same QR code each time. It's just to help get some of the information that you might need. You don't need to worry about writing things down or typing it out. Okay, so I want to ask you guys to do something a little bit weird. I promise it won't hurt, okay? Can everybody close their eyes? I'm watching all of you right now. Take a minute to think, and I want you to think about the last time something completely failed you. Maybe your car wouldn't start, or you couldn't purchase something on the internet, a form wouldn't submit. Something just didn't work, and you had no idea why. Okay, open your eyes. That moment of frustration, it keeps happening again and again. In our tech industry, we see that with bugs and defects. And today, we are going to try and fix it. Here's the thing. It doesn't matter if you're a developer, a product person, in marketing, or anywhere in between. If you believe quality is your responsibility and that you have something to contribute, then you're already thinking like a tester and you do not need QA in your title. So today, in this room, we are all testers. Together, we will look at how Playwright, AI, and your unique perspective can help make testing smarter, faster, and more human. All right, I have a question for everyone here. Who uses AI with work? Can I hear some shout outs of like what you use?
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT.
Claude.
Claude. Okay.
Gemini.
Gemini, that's a good one.
Copilot.
Copilot, that's cool. So you might hear AI and think of typing a Victorian vampire teaching yoga to robots and getting movie posters. Or maybe, having it sing a song for a Wi-Fi router who loves a toaster oven and it actually working. I know you could hear this picture singing. I get it. The stuff is mind-blowing. But let's talk about what is actually happening. AI isn't just a super powerful pattern machine. AI is just a super powerful pattern machine. Say that 10 times fast. It doesn't think, it predicts. It looks at what you wrote and what it knows, and it's seen before, and it gives you the most likely response. Think of it like autocomplete, but for the entire internet. Let me tell you my story of the first time I used AI with work. We had a massive project, and we were deprecating all these old files. And these files touched everything. At first, I was like, great, let's do this. I opened AI, I jumped in, I tried to handle it all at once, and it turned into complete and utter chaos. It was like battling a Hydra. Every deprecated file I caught awakened 2 more dependencies. The more I tried to fix it, the more things broke. I deleted that branch faster than you could say AI. That's when I took a step back, and I thought, instead of fighting the beast, I need to tame it. I changed my approach and turned back to AI. I asked it little, smaller questions, and suddenly I had a strategy. Smarter, smaller, focused tasks instead of one multi-headed serpent. Now, I want to share something with you that changed how I work with AI. Understanding the difference between asking AI and using it as your agent. When you ask AI, it's like going to Google, how can I cook this? Or so when you agent, it's like versus hiring a chef to do it for you. One is learning, one is executing. Think about it. When you want to make dinner, you call up your best friend and you're like, how do I cook pasta? What spices do I add? What seasonings work? How do I know when it's done? The conversation where you are learning and in control. Versus agent mode. It's hiring a chef and saying, I like Italian food. No mushrooms, 30 minutes. You give it clear parameters and let them execute. The key is knowing when you have to have the conversation and when to delegate the execution with the agent. The AI tango. They're not competing approaches. They're dance partners. Okay, now raise your hand. Who here has automated tests? Oh wow, not as many as I thought. Okay, cool, that's awesome. What do you guys use?
Playwright.
Playwright, I love Playwright.
Me.
Okay, anyone use Selenium still? No? Great. Okay, so I definitely heard Playwright, and that is my tool of choice. Playwright, when I found it, it was love at first click. It's a modern tool that helps you write scripts for. Fill out this form, click this, assert that. Easy to use, and it's easy to understand. Then the AI revolution hit, and we started to learn about MCPs, communication or coordination protocol used to manage how different AI models and components interact. Then one day in the testing world, a huge announcement came that there was a Playwright MCP. Think about it. It's like giving AI eyes and hands to your website, powered by one of the best, in my opinion, testing tools. So it's used in the front end, and front end testing before the MCP was like, hey AI, describe my living room. They might say, there's probably a couch, but is it leather or fabric? Where's the coffee table? Are there stairs? But with the MCP, AI actually goes and visits your living room and sees that you have a fireplace or a TV, a really lovely sofa, and that you really, really love dogs. It's writing tests based on what it actually experiences on your site. Real interactions, real responses, real working tests. The first step in using AI for testing, ask first, build second. It took me way too long to learn this. The best tests are not written, they are planned. And AI, it's brilliant at planning, terrible at mind reading. Now, I know some of you are thinking, Wendy, I am not a planner. I dive in and I like to discover things as I go. I get it. Sometimes you learn the most by poking around. Do it. Poke around. Get smart about your features. AI can also help work with your style. Use it to be a better explorer. I like to use AI as a colleague who asks me the most annoying but necessary questions. It's become my brainstorming partner, not to do my work, but to help me think bigger. All right, so here is one of my examples of a prompt to help set up for your testing. It should be used in ask mode. The basic outline goes like this. You give it a role. So in this case, we're saying the AI is going to be a QA engineer, and before I do anything else, I want you to ask me questions and learn from my response. Ask me one at a time. Give me a test plan. You could customize how you want your test plan structured. Here we're saying I want negative flows, I want functionality tests, I want all different types of tests. You can make this work for you. You could ask it also to divide between manual or automated testing. Whatever works for you, you could customize this. Don't worry, it's in my QR code. The next slide is going to demo this prompt. There we go. Okay, so I went to ChatGPT here, and I literally copied what I wrote and put it in here. A lot of the stuff that I'm going to be entering is a lot quicker just for demo purposes, but take your time when you do this for the first time. So it's asking me questions. I said skip because I don't want to wait for it. It is a demo. And here it asked me the first question, and I'm responding. And there's a couple more questions like this. I am doing short responses, but the more specific you are, the better response you will get. I also said I want to test login flow. So it's asking me questions about the login flow. The second question is, about 2FA. And on the demo, there is no 2FA. And then it's asking me what my next page is supposed to be, which I think is a great question for a login site. Like, once you log in, what are you expecting? And the URL should be, the path should be secure. And now I answered all three questions, and it's generating the test plan for me based on the way I wanted it structured. So you can see it there. But this is where I get a little sneaky. I just build my rough plan, and sometimes I use AI to help me build and others to challenge it. The back and forth reveals different edge cases I probably wouldn't have found on my own. I even let the other AI know that I generated this from a different location. So we're going to see the second step. Video is not playing. It is loading. Okay, so this is now Claude. I literally took what I got from ChatGPT, I just pressed copy and I pasted it, and it's literally the same text as before, and I added rough draft test plan, what am I missing? And I decided, while this was running, to say I got it from ChatGPT, and to generate a new test plan based on what it has found. Because I think that getting a little bit more information will help. So it's loading, it's thinking, and here it says, this is what I'm missing. It didn't give me two things. It gave me, it started writing the test plan based on all that as well. It gave me a whole list of things that ChatGPT missed. And it's bringing up accessibility, it's bringing up performance. And here it's giving me an entire list of all, that file right there is what all this is. And there's already almost 100 test cases that it created. I think I could have added, say, like break it up between automation and manual. It would help as well. But it also brought in all the stuff that ChatGPT had said. By the time I'm ready to write my actual test, I know exactly what I'm testing and why. And that's when AI stops becoming a guess and check machine and becomes a precision tool. When your team isn't available, but you want to prep for them and show them your test plan, you could get multiple perspectives from AI first. Act as a front-end developer. Review this plan. Switch to a product manager. What are the gaps? This doesn't replace your team at all. It helps you ask them better questions when you do meet with them. So now we're gonna go meet our friend of the day, Sarah. I wanna show you what happens when people get impatient and skip straight to the good stuff and do not plan. Sarah, our QA engineer, picture this. Your colleague Sarah gets excited about AI testing. She goes to ChatGPT, write me a playwright test for our login flow. AI goes, cool, let's do it. And she gets a beautifully structured test. The syntax is perfect. She commits it to the repo. 3 weeks later, the login flow completely breaks in production. Users can't sign in. The company is losing money left and right. Sarah checks her tests, green lights everywhere. Here's what went wrong. AI guessed. It assumed the login button was called login when it was sign up. It assumed that there was an error message in a div, but it was a toast. It assumed, it assumed, it assumed. This is what I like to call the false positive factory. Tests that look professional, but do nothing. It's like having a security guard just wave everybody past because he's too polite to ask for their ID. These tests give you false confidence. You think you're protected, but the security guard just let in someone underage, and there's an undercover cop right behind him. The difference between this disaster, and the precision tool we talked about is the opening of a bottle of water. Just kidding. 5 minutes. 5 minutes of planning, 5 minutes of asking AI questions first could have saved Sarah's company thousands of dollars and a really awkward all-hands meeting. You saw it a few slides back. Now, let's help Sarah take the test plan we generated earlier and put it into action. Agent mode. This is an agent mode prompt, an example of what I like to use. I once again say, I tell it it's a playwright generator, and I want to say this is how I want my test structured. Follow a page object model. Use JavaScript. Give me the tests in certain files. Give me the page objects in different files. I then copy one of the exact scenarios and put it right into this prompt. Like put the test plan here. What's going to happen is that AI is going to run actions using the Playwright MCP. It navigates, it types, it clicks, and then writes a real playwright test. And it's not playing. Okay, so here, it's a little bit different than I had just mentioned because I want it to be in one file for this example. I said instead of a page object model, I want to see everything together, and I do not want the AI to move on without me. I want to be in control. This is what I wanted to do. I also asked it to explore before it wrote the test. So here, we generated the prompt, and it opened the browser, and it went to the login page. So as you see here, this browser underscore navigate, that's the Playwright MCP. Anytime you see something like that, it also says what it did. It gives you exactly what it's doing. It went to the page, it loaded it, and it gives you a lot of information. Now, it typed in the username, it typed in the password, but here's the fun part. It's right here. It just gave me the selector of what I needed. I could copy that myself, and I could paste it into Playwright. Or I could wait for them to finish and give me the full test itself and see if it works. But here, it's telling me exactly what I did. It went to my URL. It logged in. It's giving me the step-by-step of what it found. Because I asked it to explore, it's going to give me a test with the proper syntax that I need for Playwright, for this test. And yes, should I proceed with the generated test code? It didn't move on to the next step, because I said first step, second step, then do this. So yes, now I'm saying close the browser and generate the code. And let's see what happens. Close the browser. Browser closed. That's a Playwright MCP syntax. And there, it's generating the test. All for me in one file. You see it right there. Okay. Now, let's see if this test works. I copied it, I pasted it into my IDE, and I removed a lot of the comments because they weren't necessary for this. And it's not. There we go. So here's the test in my IDE. Just same way I wrote it. And we're going to press play in a second and see what happens. Look, no hands. Log in, secure, test pass. Okay, so what did we do so far? We generated a working login test. We used the MCP to do it. And now it runs in Playwright whenever we need it to run. I had copied it, put it into my code, so anytime my CI/CD runs, anytime it runs, my test is now there. Cool, so we're done. We ready to be reviewed by coworkers? No, not at all. This is where ask mode comes back in. Here, this is my prompt, similar to the first one. I gave it structure of what I wanted to review for, and that it is an expert in Playwright, and I copied my code and I pasted it right in. It comes back with me some questions. What specific error messages are we looking for? Are the selectors good? Are they robust enough for the CI environment? Should we add some weights? These aren't generic questions. They are specific based on the actual tests they just saw, based on structure we defined. And then it got me thinking, these selectors are not robust. If they change it from login to sign up, my test will fail. AI isn't just checking my syntax, it's helping me think through whether the test will actually be maintainable. So let's bring this all back together and what happened next in Sarah's story when AI actually helped her catch a bug. Okay, so we wrote the test with the MCP. We ran Playwright on the branch. We finished writing all the rest of the tests in the test plan. We asked AI to review it from a dev perspective. We fixed the selectors. She feels good, full coverage. She's going to give it one more shot and say, test this as a product manager. What am I missing? AI comes back, what happens when you enter a valid credentials, but their accounts are deactivated? She froze. She never tested that. That's a legitimate flow that she never tested. So manually, she went in, created a user, deactivated the account. The result, a generic invalid password. Then the user would try to reset their password, have problems, and end up calling support. The bug was caught. The one AI question helped her lead to discover user experience gaps that she probably would have cost support hours. And here's the thing, AI didn't catch it. Sarah caught it. Because we use AI to ask questions at the right time from a different perspective. We saw how AI could help us on many different levels. Okay, so now we are at WordCamp, and I think we could take this to a practical level and see how the Playwright MCP works well on WordPress.
Maybe.
Okay, so I created a site, and what we're going to do on WordPress is that we are going to install a plugin. We're going to install the Elementor plugin, and I just gave it my login. That's all I did. I did not give it my password, because I want you guys to see what happens when you only give it some information. So here we're generating the test, or generating the prompt, and it's going to add the admin, and it's going to wait for me to add in the password. I still have use of this browser. I can still use it even though it's being run by AI. Now, it's waiting for me to respond, and I'm going to say, it took me a few seconds to read what it said, and I'm going to say, I entered the password. And what happens is that password has been entered, and I logged in. I didn't tell it I logged in, but it's now realizing that I had logged in. It's not waiting, it's moving on. Here, and then it tried to click the plugin button. You see the browser click? That's for the plugin button. It's not a click. It has to hover, which it did. And it was able to find that it's not just a click, it's able to use it and find things. And now we're going to look and look for the Elementor plugin. There it is, we're waiting for it to load. And there it is. But I just called it Elementor. I didn't call it Elementor Website Builder. So how does it know? It realizes it. And it's using the AI brain to continue and making the test work. So here, it just added the page builder, install now, browser click, it's installing, it's installed, and now it realizes that it's a new button, and it's checking different things. It's giving me all the notes that I need to know what's going on. Because I asked it to slow down and look and wait, it's giving me it's active descriptions of what's happening. Browser wait for agree. And look, Elementor plugin has been installed. Now, here's the fun part. It's going to generate the tests in a page object, generate all the files in a page object oriented manner. So it's telling me what it's doing, and it's loading, and it's giving me all positives and plus, and it's very happy. And here we go. First is the login page, and all the data that has to go with it, and some of the information that it found. And then the next step is going to be the plugin page. And once again, it's generating all the information about it. And the last page it's going to generate is the test. But it's going to pull it, not add all the classes into one page. It's going to pull it from those two pages. You'll see it as soon as it's done. And here, look, it's calling the login page and the plugin page. And all the information properly is doing that. So here, this is what it looked like. It also added a base page that I didn't wait for. But look, these are the pages that are generated. You copy it and paste it into your code. You can customize it what you want. Let's just say, okay, we added a plugin. We added the Elementor plugin, but now every time I run the test, the plugin's there. So you can either use a different URL every time or clean it up afterwards. It's customizable what works for you and your company. Okay, who here has 0 tests? Cool. First test, no problem. Tell them that. Say, I am writing in Playwright. I want to generate tests. This is my first one. Help me with that infrastructure. You're using Cypress and you want to use the Playwright MCP? Cool. Use the Playwright MCP. Then ask AI to change it to Cypress or switch to Playwright, whatever you decide. Now, after seeing the success story of Sarah, real-world working prompts, and all the structured approaches, great. We could just AI our way through everything. Hold up, let's pump the brakes. Even with all the structure, the prompts, the MCP magic, there's still time that we need to put human back in the driver's seat. This is when I don't use AI. when I've never touched the feature myself. Sarah's original mistake wasn't just skipping planning, she skipped exploring. You can't ask some good questions without knowing what you're doing. When it's just visual, AI can tell you that the button's there, but it can't tell you if it's too blue and you can't see it, or it just covers the entire page. Never use, this is my big thing, I never use AI in production. It's always on a testing environment. When it's sensitive flows, like payment processing, user data, authentication, the structured approach works because it puts you in charge of making the important decisions. You decide when to test. You interpret the results. You choose the questions. AI amplifies your testing skills. It does not replace them. Here's the last thing, but most important thing I want you to take from Sarah's story. Remember, AI did not save her project. She did. She just used it to help think better. She could have ignored everything and settled for less. The suggestions only work because she stayed engaged. The moment you start treating AI like magic that gives you all the answers, you're back to the original disaster we saw. Challenge AI. Don't just tell it. Literally, I say, don't just agree with me, challenge me. Disagree with me if I'm going down the wrong path. Then you need to listen to see that AI's challenge is valuable. If you push back on the assumption, you need to be brave enough to consider that it might be right. The transformation wasn't about prompts or fancier tools. It's about changing how everyone thinks about testing. AI just helped us think more systematically. We need to put human thinking, and all the structure in the world doesn't matter if you don't care about quality of what you're building. Okay, so there are so many different AI tools out there. Find what works for you. The game changer for me was having AI in my code. You're using VS Code? Great. Install Claude, Copilot. If you prefer Cursor, even better. It's built for that. Find yourself saying the same thing over and over and over again. Make it a rule. Don't forget to install the Playwright MCP. It's what really gives you the use of AI and tests. Take this into action. Do a little bit each day. Day 1, find something you're familiar with. Day 2, open Claude and ChatGPT and use some of the prompts earlier. Do not rush the conversation. You're not trying to impress AI. Take those, and then day 3, take those test sites and write them down. Organize it with AI or yourself. Day 4, switch to agent mode and write one scenario, just one. Day 5, switch back to ask mode and show the test, show them the test that you generated and ask for feedback. Keep on repeating this until it becomes your new process. You can do it all in one day by the time it becomes your process. You have the superpower. You can ask AI to help you think through the edge cases that you'd never considered. You generate real working tests in minutes instead of hours. You can review the code from multiple perspectives without waiting for your team. It starts with a single choice. The choice to ask one more question before you ship. The choice to spend 5 minutes thinking before you start coding. The choice to treat testing as thinking, not just checking. But with great power comes great responsibility, because when you realize the truth, we're not just testers, we're guardians of user experience, and now we are better equipped. Thank you. If anyone has any questions, you can find me at the Elementor booth the next 2 days. I'll be there, and don't mind helping you set up if you need.
That was testing. That was fantastic. Thank you so much, Wendy. Real quick, before you all rush out the door, who got something valuable out of that talk and is excited to kick some of it off? Look at that, Wendy. Success. Success. Thank you all for coming. This is the last talk in this room, so there's like a 15-minute break for you to shift to whatever it is that you want to do next. Upstairs in Mount Hood, or the Oregon Ballroom, is going to be how we revamped the Jim Joseph Foundation site without disruption. And over in Rose City, which is the A rooms this direction, is going to be a panel on WordPress Campus Connect, empowering WordPress's future generation. So, thank you all.